All right, welcome back. And now it's time for the State of the Nation, where we evaluate the latest development in the country. And of course, in particular, now we are shifting our attention to the President William Ruto's tour of Mount Kenya region. This comes at a backdrop of a very heated discussion with, with media houses in regard to what really transpired between the two once allied and of course good friends, and of course a marriage that really led to the formation of the Kenya Kwanza government. And this is in regard to the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, where Ruto claimed that the former DP blackmailed him in a very heated discussion that really, elicited mixed reaction. And former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, of course, in a quick rejoinder, refute such claims, insisting that, or rather telling President William Ruto to stop spreading lies and misleading Kenyans in regard to that. Well, today, President William Ruto faced the mountain in a very, at a time when a lot of political shifting in the mountain has been going on, and many had perceived that this will be viewed as, a shifting tide in an area that was once considered to be President William Ruto's stronghold. Did he make a very strong statement in his first day of 5 days tour of Mount Kenya region? All the mountain is slipping away. And of course, to help us unpack this discussion, and of course I want to usher in my guest just to bring us up to speed with the latest development in regard to this very important meeting between the tour of actually it's a development tour. And of course, let me chip in. This is Dennis Kimani, just to bring us up to speed with what to expect in the first day of President William Ruto's tour of Mount Kenya. Dennis Kimani is Youth Green Society CEO. Dennis, good evening.
Good evening, Nauma.
All right, so Dennis, a lot has been happening, especially in the politics of Mount Kenya. And of course, President William Ruto today decided to face the mountain in what many actually perceive to be a region that is drifting away. And of course, in simple terms, many will say this is a really slippery mountain. First day of President William Ruto's tour of Mount Kenya region. Remember, it's a development tour. How would you, describe the reception that he received? This comes at the backdrop of a very, a moment of tell it all between actually just giving Kenyans some intrigues and insight of what might have transpired before the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Dennis.
Thank you again, Ouma. I appreciate to be here today. There's nothing to be happy about this tour. Actually, it's a tour of lies. What I want to say is that there is nothing development that is going to be seen. There is nothing that we are talking about. We are here for politics. There is no economic goodwill that the president has brought to the mountain. If the president respected the people of the mountain, he would have not done what he did to the former DP. Rigathi Gachagua brought more than 3.7 million votes to the basket of Kenya Kwanza. And mark you, President William Ruto knew Gachagua is somebody who is a good mobilizer. But the president has ensured that this is not a development tour but a political tour, because there are a lot of things that the president could be speaking about. There are projects that have stalled. There are no education. We have no water. Agriculture is failing. 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. The revenue distribution formula, it has failed. And mark you, the people from the mountain are the people who contribute to this economy the biggest. The same people in the mountain are the same people who contribute the biggest share of the votes. And politics is a game of interest. And if the president cannot respect the people of the mountain, If the president does not respect Gashagwa, he must respect the people of the mountain. I think that is the message I have tonight. The president must respect the people of the mountain.
All right, Dennis, when you talk about respect, and of course, you know, in light with what really transpired, and this is now begs the question of who is fooling whom. In yesterday's, interview with the members of the Fourth Estate, I'm talking about now the journalists, in a moment of tell it all between what might have really transpired between the two, former allies, and that is former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and President William Ruto, who say that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua blackmailed him. Well, in a quick rejoinder, Gachagua actually refuted such claims. So, in this, the politics of blame game. One section talks about like who did what against who. The other one actually counter. It's like a politics of counter. You counter the claims from the claim of what has really been said earlier, just to try and maybe in a simple word to tarnish your name. So when you talk about the respect to Mount Kenya people, let's first of all talk about now the level of honesty. So who is fooling who?
There's nothing, there's no honesty that you can say with the president. The president rode even in the campaigns on lies, and that way it has been very difficult for the president even to run his own government. That's why it has been vivid that the president can reshuffle the cabinet as far as 5 times in 3 years. That's why we have seen even the president has demoted the deputy president. The president has demoted the closest allies that brought him the Mount Kenya votes. The likes of Indi Nyoro, the likes of people Moturi. These are people who brought a lot of votes to the president. These are the people who swayed votes and the voters to vote for the president. So I feel like we should not talk about Gashagwa in this matter, because if the president knew that Gachagua was the problem, and Gachagua was coming between him and the progress and the development that he wanted to do to Mount Kenyans, it is high time to know that Gachagua is no longer in office. We have Kindiki, and as far as I know is that Kindiki has failed even also to help the people of Nyambene. As we all know, Meru and Embu, they are the producers of cat. That is Mira. And since Mira was banned in Britain, the biggest market of Mira, it is Somalia. But this business has been full. It is full of cartels. What has the president done? Kashago is not there. He has Kindiki. Why has he not helped his own people? So the president should not ride on lies. And I want to tell you, without fear of contradiction, this night, that whatever the president is doing in Mount Kenya, it is like selling pork in Mecca. It will not change anybody's mind. It will not going to make him get any extra vote in Mount Kenya. But as far as I know, as I know the ground, the political game has shifted, and we all want to drain the swamp. And William Ruto is part of the swamp. He's part of the fishes in this swamp, and will ensure that he goes home with or without the mountain.
All right, talking about now the shifting ties, how will you describe the reception that President William Ruto received today, being the first day of his 5-day tour, and this comes at the backdrop at a time when he has spent like almost 7 months without visiting the region, at least after the impeachment of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. How would you describe the reception that he received today?
There is no reception. If you can see, those are all people who were in one time in business and now they are jobless. These are farmers who they don't have work to do because the farms have dried. There is no fertilizer. These are people who are just there to see the person who is finishing their lives. What I can tell you, there is no reception that the president got. People are tired of William Ruto. And if you have been looking at even the videos and the pictures that the government bloggers are sharing on social media, these are videos that are edited. These are videos that are coming from the campaign tree. It is not what is happening now on the ground. So there is nothing to laugh about. There is nothing to be happy that the president is talking, because I will
So,
started by saying in this
so,
interview
so
that
sorry to cut you
yesterday
short, Dennis. Sorry to cut you short, but
yesterday's interview,
what is happening in the ground, Dennis?
what is happening in the ground, that people are tired of lies. People are tired of pockets that are dried. People are tired that their children cannot go to school. CBC is something that is so difficult now, even for parents to educate their children. You know, CBC, even a teacher will tell you, come with a chicken, come with whatever. Where are parents coming up with these monies? So people are fed up. Punitive taxes are overwhelming the people. So no one is happy about William Ruto. He can take even 10 days in the mountain, but I'm telling you, this mountain, the only person who made William Ruto to climb is Gachagua. And that is the problem that he's having.
Okay.
He might have removed Gachagua, but he has never removed the betrayal from the people of the mountain. He
Okay,
may push Gachagua, but
so for the purpose of clarity, Dennis, well, you say that it's former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua that made President William Ruto to climb the mountain. Now, let's talk about today. The president climbed the mountain. So, who made him to climb the mountain?
the president has not climbed the mountain. He's trying to climb. The president is trying to get sympathy. But we want to tell him we are hardcore. We are narcissists in this. We are not going to give you the slightest of the empathy. We are going to give you back what you have given us. Let me tell you one thing, Oma. Even if your enemy comes to your house, don't ever tell them not to come in. Let them come in and understand what they have for you. I appreciate and I love what the people of the mountain have done. They have given him the ears. They have let him come, because as we all know, the president is also organizing his own militia Mungiki, using minor Jenga, all those events that he's attending, even in Nyandarua today.
Dennis,
Full of Mungiki.
Dennis, that is a claim that we cannot substantiate at this particular moment. So we leave it as your personal opinion. However, let's talk about agenda. Let's talk about agenda, Dennis. The president, in his message, he said that leaders should engage in constructive politics. Allow me to quote him that leaders should actually avoid rhetorics, rather focus on agendas that will, if they want to unseat him in 2027 general election, to focus on agenda that they will actually sell to Kenyans. Well, this politics of the blame game. This section did this to this. We are being isolated and this and this. Now, that was the agenda on the ground. So what is your take in regard to today's message, President William Ruto's message today?
There's nothing that I'm getting to be beneficial that William Ruto is saying, because William Ruto on campaign trail said that the Nithi Bridge, this is the Tracarias road section that has killed a lot of people. This is near Sagana there, where he was. This bridge, he said, he is going to complete it within 100 days. The bridge was going to cost 1 billion shilling. Has the bridge been repaired? So we are talking about rhetorics. Let's talk about industrial promises. The president promised that he's going to come up with value addition, milk processing, tea factories. Are they there? Our farmers are still struggling with their tea. Their dividends, their bargaining has gone down. The cartels are killing the industry. So whatever president is saying is that he's just telling us to remember that he has a lot of unfulfilled projects that he has not done for the mountain, yet these people gave him 3.7 million votes. But just to tell the people of the mountain, and if you want to know where central Kenya is, look at any note that you have. You'll get that the central bank is the one that carries the money. And so the central Kenya is the owners of Kenya and the owners of the money. Because that is the truth. Everybody will keep paying rent to the mountain as long as you don't respect them. Because these people are industrious, they are not hustlers. While Kenya people are hard-working people, not where close to a hustler. Because hustlers are people who do what William Ruto is doing. Hustlers are people who lie, who take people's money and divert projects so that they can benefit themselves. So in 100 days, today we are almost 3.5 years since this government was elected.
Actually, we are close to 3. We are close to 3 years. It is 2.5 years to be precise.
Yeah, so in those 2.5 years, the Nithi Bridge is still to be repaired. The industrial promises are still to be fulfilled. And the only thing that the president has done is to show that akona madharau nyingi kwa the mountain. I heard whatever he was being asked yesterday. He was asked about Ndindi Nyoro, and he had nothing to say about that. Ndindi Nyoro was somebody who brought a lot of votes to the Kenya Kwanza basket.
All right.
He was.
All right, Dennis. And of course, we have a very critical topic here that I want to get your input on it about the reconstitution of IEBC. Of course, you have heard what the opposition leaders led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, they are now alleging that there might be, a scheme to actually re-engineer commissioners, the IEBC commissioners who will favor or rather will help the current regime to actually rig the 2027 election. Let me first get your input on this. Do you think that allegations from the opposition really stand ground at this particular point?
First, I want to correct you that the opposition in Kenya is Gen Z, and so far the Gen Z are still in court. We are still in court fighting for the IEBC because we still feel that the commissioners are not right. But I want to tell you that we don't care which commissioners whom will be put there. We don't care even William Ruto will bring his own children to be in the IEBC. But what I want to tell you this night is that since J25, June 25th, this fight has been getting momentum every single day. And I want to remind William Ruto, he has no bone to pick only with the mountain. He has the bone to pick with all Kenyans. The other day I saw Sifuna, he was in Baringo. People of Baringo were telling him, please Abia Baba should not go to William Ruto because William Ruto is a spoiled potato. Even if we are going to do anything, we are not going to forgive William Ruto.
But Dennis, you are drifting from my point. You are drifting from the discussion. Yeah. Let's talk about the IEBC and all the character of President William Ruto. Should I pose the question again?
Okay. Yeah, you can come up again.
All right. So my point was, there is an allegation by, this is we know, opposition leaders, in as much as you say Gen Z are the opposition, well and good. Now, the opposition leaders, led by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, and Eugene Wamalwa, today in a presser say that there is a scheme to actually rig the 2027 general election. And they said, they were very clear, allow me to quote them, that there will be no IEBC commissioners and chairperson if they will be excluded in the process. Do you think there is such scheme in your own assessment, Dennis?
I want to remind you that there was a time that before the panel was put, the selection panel, there was a case in court where Kalonzo Musyoka wanted some lady to be put in the IEBC because all of them are thinking about stealing the election. That's why I was telling you that they have already gotten the butterflies, that they are not going to get any votes because I can tell you with no fear of contradiction that William Ruto will be defeated with 1 million votes plus. So it won't be easy for him to steal, and that's why he's trying to come up with these tricks now. But we are woke more than ever. What I can tell to IBC is that remember what the Constitution of Kenya says. Article 10 says that it's about transparency, good governance. And again, I want to remind IBC, you're part of the independent bodies, institutions in this country. You vowed and you take oath to protect the people, the preamble of the Constitution, we the people. You are not there to work for any political class. You are there to work for the people. You are there to deliver the best for the people of Kenya. So whatever I can tell the IBC, whoever will be put there, please do God's work. You take an oath for the people of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking forward for a very transparent IBC.
All right.
We don't want to go back to the electoral injustices, because even William Ruto is just there because of electoral injustices. Because as you all know that commissioners were out of the bombers of Kenya, and that is an irregularity of the election. You cannot declare anyone president without all the commissioners.
Okay, so that is a matter of contention, Dennis. In all fairness, let's say this matter was before the court, and it was presided by Chief Justice Martha Koome. In their ruling,
yes,
they say that elections were free and fair, in as much as you are entitled to your own opinion. Fair enough. But let me get this from you. Well, right now, we have the chance to correct the past mistakes. Historically, Kenya is known for, for every electioneering period, while the aggrieved parties will actually dispute, the results. They will fault the referee, of which in this case are the IEBC officials, of actually playing favorism, favoring one candidate over the other. However, right now we have a chance to correct this. I remember during the time of Isaac Hassan, Wafula Chebukati, well, we had Samuel Kiviuti during that time. And of course, this is something that has, over time, it has been a repeated circle. Now we have time to change this. Do you think the Dr. Nelson Makanda-led team will actually deliver three things: simple, transparent, and credible? That is, I'm talking about the next officials who these gentlemen and of course ladies will actually give Kenyans. Do you think at the end of the day we will get IEBC chairperson who will uphold the rule of law and the standard of the election? Same case with the commissioners. Do you have faith in the selection panel?
What I can say is that I am a Kenyan and a believer of transparency and good governance. I am also a believer of people's potentiality. I am a believer that every person has something that they can bring to this great nation of Kenya. So what I can tell the people of IEBC, the selection panel, do God's work. We are going to change this country by the truth, transparency, and credibility. Whoever is going to be the commissioner, be led by the truth. If mtu ameshindwa, because there is no way that this government is going back to rule this country. That is point blank. Even the youngest generation, Alpha, knows that William Ruto is not, if not a half-term president, he's a one-term president. And therefore, IEBC, this is not the biggest matter of death and life, because IEBC will be there by April. We are in April. We have to have commissioners by this April. This is the deadline. So what we are telling them, whatever you cook, if you cook to steal elections, know that Gen Z are woke more than ever. Mukihesabu, tutahesabu. Mukiongeza, tunaongeza. Mukitoa, tunatoa. And I want to tell to make all the Kenyans be woke. We have agreed that during the day of elections, all youth we will not sleep. We will wake up very early in the morning, go for those who are sick, go for the elderly, go for the people who are pregnant, give them chances, go for women. We will give them chances to vote before everybody. After that, in the afternoon, the youth will go and vote, and you will be voting as you head to Bomas of Kenya to go and secure your vote, because we will not wait to see what happened in the last time. Everybody saw it at Bomas of Kenya. The deputy speaker, what's her name? This woman,
You mean
Sholei.
you mean the deputy?
Sholei. Sholei was in Bomas of Kenya with a laptop. What was she doing with a laptop in Bomas of Kenya? We saw even the late alikuwa anaitwa the CDF Ogola having a confrontation at the podium. Even others were hit because elections were fraud. There's even people who are saying that
All right.
There was a file that was brought to Chebukati just
Okay.
a few minutes before he released, and that was the contention that made some of the commissioners to leave
Okay.
Bomas, because another file came from nowhere.
All right, Dennis, we are really running out of time. Let me say, this is a fair note, a fair point to leave it at that particular point. Asante sana, Dennis Kimani, for making time. This is the Youth Green Society CEO. Your time is appreciated. Asante sana, Dennis.
Asante sana, and I am so happy to always to be here to articulate youth matters.
All
And
right.
I want to tell youth to stay strong.
All
We are having the PPK. What I can tell you, Babu Owino and Dindi Nyoro,
All
they
right.
have come up with a party. That is the party that is going to transform this country.
Sawa sawa, Dennis, asante sana for that. And I'm afraid we are running out of time, and we'll have to leave it at that particular point. And now let's switch, gears to some other stories.